I would now like to introduce Mr. Anthony Soto, our acting superintendent.
Thank you, Lori. Come on, let's hear it for our seniors. Let's go. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Holyoke Public School Committee and all the HPS staff, I want to offer our sincerest congratulations to the class of 2021. I want to give a special thanks to Lori McKenna, Lisette Gonzalez, Carmen Sanchez, Anna Regali, Patty Dunn, Marilyn Sanabria, Mark Todd, Sheila Fallon, and Cassie Stewart for all the hard work they put on for this event today. It's my honor to be here. I didn't know where to begin with my graduation speech. So I turned to my son and I took his advice. He said, "Papi, just Google it." I'm Anthony Soto. I'm a graduate of Holyoke Public Schools. I was standing here on this stage at the Dean campus 22 years ago, addressing the class of 1999 as a salutatorian. I remember getting choked up. I looked up at the stands. I saw my dad crying for the first time ever in my life. I'd never seen my dad cry, but he was so proud, and it just made me get choked up. I could barely get the words out. And of course, the next day, the Sunday Republican decides to have a graduation section, and there's my face crying on the front page. Soto shares lesson in love. My mom was so proud. She cut it out and she put it on her cubicle for all of her clients to see and all of her co-workers to see. So occasionally I'd run into random people in the street and they'd be like, "Tú eres el hijo de Rosa, ¿verdad? You're Rosa's son. Are you the older one or the one that was crying at graduation?" Thanks, Mom. I don't know where you are, but I know you're sitting out there somewhere. So here we are, 22 years later, and I'm so proud to be standing here today as your superintendent. First, I want to thank all you students for sticking through it this past year and enduring what you have during this difficult year. I wish this year was different, but I'm proud of each and every one of you for what you have had to overcome this last year. I also want to thank your families, your dads, your moms, your aunts, your uncles, brothers, sisters, your teachers, your paras, and all the HPS support staff that played a critical role in preparing you for the next phase of your life. Without all of you, this wouldn't be possible. Le quiero pedir las gracias a todos los padres, las madres, las tías, los tíos, hermanos, hermanas, abuelas, abuelos, por todo lo que han hecho para tus niños y para prepararlos para este día y para lo que viene en la vida después de ser estudiante en los Holyoke Public Schools. Sin ustedes esto no será posible y deben de estar muy orgullosos de lo que han logrado tus niños. It was 12 years ago for most of you when you began your journey here. I'm sorry, my iPad just said it's way too hot, so I'm gonna have to wing it. So it was 12 years ago that most of you started your journey here, and we're so proud of you for everything that you have done. I want to give a story about, so one of my son actually inspired me to give a message about confidence. Confidence is very important in life. So I want to tell you that 3 years ago, my then 6-year-old son, he was playing in a baseball league in Holyoke. He was playing in a baseball league in Holyoke, and unfortunately there weren't enough kids. So he ended up, having a terrible experience, very bad experience. He didn't have fun, and overall he just hated baseball, right? So he did what most kids did, and for a couple of years he turned to YouTube and TikTok and got hooked on that. But thankfully this last year he picked it up, baseball again, and the one piece of advice that I gave my son was, "Papi, you gotta be confident. You gotta go up there and think you're gonna get a hit. You You gotta go up there and just tell yourself, I'm gonna get a hit, I'm gonna get a hit. So of course, he gets up there, he gets a hit, he's running around first base, running around second base, they overthrow the ball to second base, he's running to third, and he finally slides in the third and he pops up and he looks at me, gets up, they yell, safe! He gets up and he goes, shit! I promise, I'm not gonna take more than an hour, relax. So listen, in life you're gonna have to take risks. With those risks is gonna come failure and mistakes. Trust me, you're gonna make mistakes. Everybody does, and there's nothing you can do about it right now. Your attitude and how you deal with those mistakes is gonna define who you are. You guys are probably a little too young, but there was a song by Aaliyah, Rest in Peace. It used to go something like, if at first you don't succeed, get yourself off and try again. That was one of my favorite songs. I think it was about a guy getting on a girl or trying to get her to go out on a date, and he failed, and then she was telling him to persist. But for me, it was a story about failure and persevering through failure. Now, I didn't know this, but Walt Disney got fired from a newspaper for what people said was having no imagination. Michael Jordan got cut from his freshman basketball team, and he became one of the greatest basketball players, if not the greatest basketball player to ever walk the planet. Don't talk to me about LeBron. We all know what happened last week. I see one of you with a jersey on. I see you over there. Thomas Edison failed at 1,000 experiments before his 1,001st, which was the light bulb. We're all gonna make mistakes, but mistakes are really not mistakes. They're just opportunities to learn and grow in life. You know, in 2011, I applied to be the CFO in Holyoke, and I didn't get it. I was devastated. I put my head down and I worked really hard. And then 5 years later, Holyoke asked me to be the CFO. And 5 years after that, I sit here today proudly addressing you as your superintendent. Remember this, if you don't fail, you're not even trying. Steph Curry misses 100% of the shots that he doesn't take. If you make mistakes, fix them. Try not to make the same mistake twice. And try not to make mistakes, life-altering mistakes, that you can't fix. Over the next few years, you're gonna have to make a lot of very important choices. Take control of your life and make good ones. One of the most important choices you're gonna have to make is who your friends are. My mom always told me, dime con quién tú andas, y te diré quién eres. So the translation of that is, tell me who you hang with, or who you walk with, and I'll tell you your future. You know, one of the most important things that I've ever had to hear was last year. For some reason, I've never felt like I belonged. I was in places, whether that be a big lecture hall, in college, or whether that be, amongst CFOs across the state or superintendents, and there was this feeling of me not belonging. I don't know if it was a lack of confidence or what the case may be, but I was in this program to become a superintendent, and the first speaker, his name was Ventura Rodriguez, got up, and he looked me dead in the eye, and others as well, and he said, "You're here because you belong here." And then he made us repeat, "You're here because you belong here." So when you find yourself wherever you're going, whether that be the military, college, career, and you're having that sense of not belonging, remember to always tell yourself, no, I'm here because I belong here.
Yes, sir. Yay!
Remember that, because it's important. So class of 21, congratulations. Go out there, take risks, learn from your mistakes, make good choices, be happy, and be confident. And remember, it's always okay to celebrate along the way. Cheers!